Welcome in to another new podcast from Codings for Magazine. I'm your host, Ben Duvose, and I'm the news editor for the AMP publications team. AMP, of course, is a shorthand acronym for the Association for Materials Protection and Performance, of which Codings Pro is a member magazine. Today, we're chatting with Ryan Decker, spray foam brand manager at Enverge. Enverge recently introduced a new online calculator to provide its contractor partners with tools to efficiently and reliably perform project estimates and planning. Available now through the Enverge app, the new resource is part of a growing digital platform that aims to deliver training, technical guidance, and job site tools to contractors that help them work more precisely, consistently, and successfully. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking a bit about those tools, but we're also going to look more broadly at the increasing digitization of the field and what some of the bigger picture implications are for many of the contractors in our Codings Pro audience. We cover not just liquid coatings, but spray polyurethane foam, or SPF, as well. Ryan, thanks so much for taking the time. Why don't you start by telling our listeners a bit more about your career background and, generally speaking, the journey that's taken you to your position today?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone. I'm Ryan Decker, brand manager with Enverge Spray Foam. I have been in the digital marketing field for about, probably say about 15 years now, and across a few different verticals, ranging from automotive to healthcare to internal agency support. And, that culmination of experience is what led me into the construction and spray foam world.
And tell us a bit more about Enverge specifically, its niche in the marketplace. I know you're the spray foam brand manager, but overall, what does the company do and how does it pertain to the broader coatings industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So, our tagline really is that we're on a mission to change the way the world insulates. So, we deliver spray foam products that are energy efficient, reliable, and contractor friendly, right? So, besides that, we're backing that up with training and support to make jobs go more smoothly. So ultimately, it's about providing support and experience beyond the products that Enverge develops. So we really want to be partnered with folks who want to change the industry with us, whether that is safety or proper application. We really just want to be the voice that helps move the spray foam industry forward.
You mentioned making products and technologies that are contractor friendly. Historically, what are some of the limitations there? Or I suppose the things that are unfriendly, if you will. What are some of the shortcomings in this space that you all, be it through your products or your technologies, such as the mobile app, are trying to address?
Yeah, I think from my side of the fence, what I often hear is quality, right? So spray foam, in a sense, it can be somewhat of a quote unquote easy field to get into from a manufacturing side, but having the right quality assurance steps, the field testing to make sure that you're going to have a consistent experience with the product is very important. So that is one reason someone would want to partner with Enverge and or use a quality product from a known manufacturer. So you're not running into inconsistency issues or foam not adhering properly to surfaces. I think that's the way to go right there.
When we're looking at the app specifically, how does that tool address some of those concerns? Just walk us through, I guess, the origins of it, how it works, and how the app ultimately ensures that that end quality is there.
Yeah, from that standpoint, you can look at it from estimation can sometimes be a time-consuming process or error-prone, especially if you're looking at irregular spaces like corrugated metal panels. So I think outside of product performance, you have to make sure that there is consistency when you are going out to a job site or providing estimates on the fly. And when you think about consistency, some of our larger contractor partners, you've got multiple applicators that might be running bids or speaking to customers. So two or more people doing the same job could easily come up with different numbers. So at the end of the day, inaccurate estimates mean extra cost, potentially wasted material or project delays.
So what's different now relative to 10, 20 years ago when we talk about this digital integration and companies or contractors being able to work with laptops or even mobile devices out in the field, which is obviously the concept of an app? How does that change the application relative to the old days when things were on hand? Now that you can do this all digitally, how does that change the overall landscape?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps speed the process up, right? And so instead of maybe 10 years ago, not to say this is much different, but if a potential customer calls you and they're wondering, "Hey, I have a building that is has a 500 square foot wall and I need an attic done that is 1,200 square feet. How much is that going to cost me?" Right? Or how much material is going to be needed for this project? So you're always gonna have to do a full on-site visit, right, to get the exact parameters for the project. But what this tool will help you do is kinda speed up that initial estimation process and understand, okay, well, if I'm using Enverge Easy Seal, I know that it has to be sprayed at 4 inches thick and I have 10,000 square feet of wall space or board feet needed, I can plug that in and quickly understand, well, this project is going to take, say, 5 sets of foam, and I can give a quick estimation on a bid for that project instead of potentially having to, go back and forth over email or miss phone calls. And then again, it is important, you're always going to have to do a full on-site visit to understand the job and see the needs of the customer and often the complexities of the structures that you're installing spray foam on.
So what type of feedback have you gotten from contractors that are using this app? I'm just picturing someone who's, 40, 50, 60 years old that's been doing it the old-fashioned way for some time, that's trying to get synced up with the way this industry works in the 2020s. What are the types of feedback you hear from them? What are the questions that they have? Just walk us through what I guess the introductory process is like.
Yeah, so the tool is so new, but we anticipate that contractors will appreciate its speed and simplicity, plus the fact that the Enverge app consolidates multiple functions into a single platform. So, because this set calculator is tailored specifically to spray foam jobs with features like your corrugated metal calculations, it should resonate more than generic construction calculators would. And I think from a user standpoint, the user interface is it's simple, it's straightforward. If you've been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to know what you need to put in to the calculator to get the calculations. So it's very, very simple to use.
What else would someone potentially need to know about it? Is there any change that might be on the horizon? Just anything that we haven't already covered that you think might be newsworthy to someone who's exploring the potential of using this?
Yeah, for sure. The Enverge app isn't just about calculators and calculations. It's really meant to be a resource to provide training on proper application, troubleshooting, and best practices for application of Enverge products. And I think importantly, or more important in there, is the safety aspect. So understanding, the proper PPE or personal protective equipment that needs to be done with this job is highly important. So we really want to stand behind the fact that we can provide, you know, this Enverge.app tool as a resource to help people learn the right way to do things.
Obviously, any company like Enverge is going to want to make sure that your tools are tied in with broader market trends. So when we talk about spray foam in 2025 and going into the second half of this decade, what are some of the market trends that you're seeing in terms of technologies, projects? How are you all as a company adapting to those? And maybe how does the app play into that trend?
Yeah, I think, the industry as a whole is seeing a strong demand for efficiency, right? And that's driven by homeowners and builders and policy. And that efficiency is going to go hand in hand with lower utility bills. So that's, obviously one of the main points that we try to push home with spray foam is that energy efficiency aspect of it. But, contractors are under pressure to deliver more precise work, getting it done faster while dealing with labor shortages, material costs rising. So that's where wanting to come in, or where Enverge is wanting to come in and respond with these digital tools, more efficient products, and really to make it easier for contractors to do more with less.
And within Verge, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's owned by a larger entity, right?
That's correct. Yes, it's,
So
Amrise.
that's what I thought. So, what benefits are there to you all that you do have these additional resources that you can tap into? Obviously, you guys specialize in spray foam insulation, but if a client comes to you and maybe it's a hybrid job or maybe they're a better fit for some other type of technology, what benefit is there that you all are part of a larger group? You have a lot of resources under one roof that you can
Mhm.
potentially tap into if needed.
Yeah, well, I think from a high level, when you look at the brands, of the building envelope, I mean, we have 100 years of experience and 1,000 or more sites across North America, that really allows us to deliver building materials and solutions from, the foundation to the rooftop. So, when you look at the Amrise building envelope, got commercial roofing, residential roofing, of course, insulation, adhesives and sealants, weatherization. So all of these components to build more efficient, more energy efficient buildings, whether that is residential or commercial. So when you're working with someone like Enverge, on a project, you are not limited to just insulation.
I meant to ask you earlier when we were talking about the app specifically, but how useful is the app within the context of workforce development? Because I think with all the challenges that contractors are going to be facing in the coming years about having the workforce they need to meet the demand that's out there for projects. To me, an app like this, these types of technologies are critical to enable the workforce that you have to be more efficient, right? I would think that this is something that's really beneficial when it comes to a contractor maximizing his or her ability as well as the staff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an additional resource to reference. From the Enverge side, we really like to provide training, classroom training, where possible, as well as in the field training to make sure people get that hands-on experience, right? I mean, spray foam is a very obviously hands-on job, so until you get behind the gun and understand how to properly process material and apply it. Obviously, we wouldn't want folks out there spraying it yet. But again, this is an additional resource, right? So once you get that training, you have that experience behind the gun. This is a tool that you can reference because it's a lot of information. And I mean, I've only been in the spray foam industry, coming up on 3 years now, and it's a lot to learn from the technical side. And these contractors and applicators out in the field doing this are, I mean, it's hard work and it's a lot to have to learn. So having a tool or a resource that you can access on the fly to help you troubleshoot an issue or understand the right PPE to wear on a job, I think that is definitely beneficial.
For sure. And I'm assuming it's a pretty rewarding job for you because ultimately you mentioned the safety angle, there's a sustainability angle, but ultimately I think that's where this all comes together, is that these newer technologies, certainly it makes the workforce more efficient, but it also helps everybody do their jobs better, right? More
Yeah.
safer, more sustainably. I think ultimately it's a pretty rewarding mission.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from our perspectives at Amrise and Enverge, I mean, it's really the people behind the product. So I think the rewarding piece of being a brand manager on the Enverge side is trying to help, listen to our customers to understand what they need to make their lives easier. And not only that, I mean, tell the stories of the projects that they're working on. I mean, that's the exciting stuff, is seeing these buildings get installated with high energy efficiency product that is just going to be there to last.
Ryan, for anyone that wants to learn more about you or the company, where can they do that? If one of our contractors listening or someone else out in the industry wants to learn more about this tool or Enverge as a company, what are the best places for them to reach out to?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So to learn more about the digital set of tools, you would visit Enverge.app directly to try the calculator out and see the other tools firsthand. To learn more about spray foam, whether you're a homeowner or an applicator, you can visit envergesprayfoam.com to access more product details, and again, find access to the app and to kind of get a glimpse into the world of spray foam. You can follow us on social media on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at Enverge.
Good stuff. Brian, thank you so much for the time.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Sure thing. And for clarity, it's Enverge. That's the spelling. Envergesprayfoam.com or Enverge.app. That's the mobile app that we have been discussing today. All right, that'll do it for this episode. And if you want more resources from our end at Coatings Pro, just check out our website at coatingspromag.com and search for the Coatings Pro interview series wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. Until next time, this is Where We Break. For Ryan Decker, I'm Ben Dubose. Thanks as always for listening, and please come back soon for another new Coatings Pro podcast.